So we can see that there are quite a lot of books here. It's like a cricket library, and I believe you'll find almost any and every book. There's a Yuvraj Singh book, the most recent one. There are Wisdoms, there's Imran Khan, you name it and it's there. So this fascination for collecting books as well has remained with you till date, because I can see even the most latest books here.
Yeah, because I am very fond of reading and also sometimes write about the game. And since I am fond of reading, I make sure that I get all the books from wherever they are.
And how many have you actually tried to read? Because I'm sure you've had this enormous interest, but you have to balance your business as well.
Since I'm very fond of reading books, though I don't read every word of every book, whichever book I feel like and I think it's interesting, I read it. Otherwise, I scan through most of the books and then put them in the racks.
Are we losing a touch of history?
You see, the game over the years, particularly in last 10 or 15 years, has drastically changed. And one of the reasons for this change, I would say, is the media. The big way in which the electronic media has come. This habit of either reading or discussing among yourselves is now getting reduced. Like during my time when we used to play a match, at the end of the day, both the teams would sit in the dressing room, have a couple of drinks, exchange their views. I thought that was a big way of an education for youngsters, listening to the seniors about their experiences. For example, I recall there was this match between Hyderabad and Mysore, Ranji Trophy match, played at Fateh Maidan. And there was this inner circle where Pataudi, Abbas Ali Beg, Jaisima, Abid Ali, Prasanna, Chandrasekhar, Vishwanath, they were sitting. And behind in the second row were all the juniors. And their discussion of various matches they played. And particularly, it still stands out in my memory, Prassi telling how he planned while bowling to Ian Chappell. That's why I'm not surprised that Ian Chappell rates him as one of the most difficult bowler to play. So this becomes an education for the juniors, which is now missing. And what I see now among the players is that it's only high in the morning, bye in the evening. In the evening, even before the bails are off, they are hardly. There's a time when the entire team goes back to the hotel in the same bus. They are already away. They have their own engagements. They have their shooting commitments. They have other extracurricular activities, whatever it may be. So that little, I would say, imparting of education from the seniors to juniors is missing. Secondly, with this present system, wherein the players are given single rooms, I think that is also, in a way, detrimental. Because, say for example, when we were on a tour of Pakistan in '78, I was making the room list wherein there were two players in a room, each one was sharing. And then Bishan told me, man, when you're making the room list, make sure that you have a junior and a senior together. And again, I had Prasanna and Kapil in one room. And at the end of the tour, one of the days, say on the '83 tour of England for the World Cup, Kapil told me how useful that togetherness with Prassi was. Because Prassi would tell him what test cricket is all about, or what cricket is all about. Again, that kind of because when you're together alone in a room, you can only talk cricket. Now, Prassi being from Mysore and Kapil from Punjab, Prassi didn't know much of Hindi and Kapil didn't know much of Canaries. And at that time, Kapil was also a little novice talking English either. But in spite of the fact, Prassi was able to tell him and that gave him a lot of confidence, experience, knowledge about the game. That is missing today.
For example, the young cricketers who are coming, not just them, but even the public, we'll want to leave something behind, wouldn't it? Something about history, because you should know that where this gentleman's game came from and who were the men who played, men of honor who had played it.
Well, that is, frankly speaking, the very basic thing which I would say is the most important, and that is lacking, because that information about the legacy, history, and the various traditions of the game, you will either get it from your seniors or by reading. In fact, this was the real cause or reason for my writing my book, Cricket Biryani, A History of Hyderabad Cricket, because I found that the present generation didn't know anything about Hyderabad cricket. What was the legacy and what was the history behind Hyderabad cricket? That's what made me write that book. So I think it also would be a big help if the present day coaches, while they are coaching and doing anything, also talk about cricket in general and particularly the history, legacy of the area in which they are coaching.
If you have to actually give one message for all this, because now the game has become very commercialized. Now players are earning well, and that is good for the game, of course. But, like you said, we have lost that bit of, that bonding after the dressing room, in the dressing room after all that has happened. So, do you have hope that it will change sometime in the future?
Well, change will be very difficult, because by the time we talk about the future, these habits and the way of life and living would have almost become very hard to change. And once a person gets used to a certain kind of a lifestyle, it's not easy for him to change. The only thing is we should concentrate on the younger generation who can be mended, who can be tended, and get them back to the old ways. And right, you can impress upon them that you can make a career out of cricket, you can do all sorts of things while playing cricket, but these things are equally important.
And we'd like to sign off on the note of this particular shirt. Is this that particular shirt that Sachin Tendulkar has sent all the way from Mumbai?
No, actually this was given to me by Dr. M.V. Sridhar, Secretary of the HCA, on my 75th birthday. Since he knew that I collect memorabilia and all that, and that was the time when Sachin had just completed his 200th test match. And Sridhar had got employed with BCCI. It was very easily accessible for him to get one. But I'm very happy and proud to have a kind of shirt which probably if I had asked Sachin to sign and give me, he wouldn't have said no. But it has got a special place in my museum.
Of course. So, sir, we at Cricket Country are very happy and we are honored to come here, visit this fantastic place, and I'm going to personally have a lot of memories from here. And I'd really like to thank you for this wonderful opportunity that you have given me to come and visit your temple of cricket.
Not at all. It's a pleasure. And what you have just said about being temple reminds me of the comment which Bishan Singh Bedi made when he was here. Along with him at that time came Mithali Raj, now the women's Indian team captain, and he advised her, with this kind of a place where you can get so much to read, don't waste your time. Be here all the time.
Of course. Why wouldn't we want to be?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.